Welcome to Andorks, the podcast where every week we'll analyze and scrutinize the Star Wars series Andor 7 minutes at a time. My name is Rusteen Honardoost.
And my name is Alex.
And previously on Andor, Separatists killed Kassa's role model, while in the present, PreMor security have identified Cassian and prepared to come in and arrest him. How are you feeling about starting off Episode 3, Reckoning?
I'm excited because I think we sort of have been defining these 3 episodes as a 3-episode arc. Mm-hmm. And I think there's been a lot of build-up. I think Episode 2, now that we've rewatched it, I think does drag a bit. And I think 3 is the payoff to a lot of that build-up.
Yeah.
And it's kind of shooting out like a rocket from here.
Mm-hmm. There is way more action in this episode. We also get more of a deep dive into what is motivating Andor and how he is able to kind of serve in the fight against the Empire.
Yeah, I mean, we get a shit ton of Luthen, who is my favorite character.
We do
unsurprisingly.
Get a lot of uncut Luthen. So why don't we just dive right into it then?
Let's go. You want to kick us off?
Yeah, we kick off with a new rendition of the opening titles, which is definitely the quietest version of them yet. It's a very eerie, almost like the calm before the storm of this episode. And then it opens with Kassa climbing into the Separatist ship with his, blow dart staff. But he's really terrified. He's kind of jumping out of his skin as little hisses and steam kind of fly out everywhere.
Well, we're getting the classic 2001 Space Odyssey image of him in the middle of the dead center shot, looking down the corridor of the spaceship. Mm-hmm. Which it's hard to tell if that's an initial homage or if that's just such a classic shot now of just dead center down the middle.
Especially with the halo silhouette around him is definitely one that the show uses again and again, I think. So I think we've seen that when he was in the village with his kid, with the other kids. We saw a kind of similar shot like that, except that was him leaving the village, leaving his tent. And here he's instead entering into this really scary space. It does such a good job as he's crawling through the ship of feeling like a survival horror game where there's these dead yellow bodies everywhere.
Well, first we get some real close-ups of feet.
We do.
And well, not feet, I guess they are shoes. The feet are hidden therein. But I think again it's really contrasting the indigenous sort of clothing that the kids are wearing against the high-tech nature of the starship they're on.
Yeah.
And again, we're just hit with that contrast of 2 incongruous worlds stuck together.
It's turning what is a really common Star Wars location of a kind of prequel era starship into something that's really alien and frightening.
I mean,
it's like nothing we've ever seen before.
I think it's literally a little bit of an homage to Alien.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if a xenomorph burst out and tried to kill him.
I mean, Disney owns all of them now, so they can.
They sure do. We do get to see a bit of the tactile technology of this world again as he enters into the control room and then in the shiny reflective surfaces sees his own reflection for the first time.
Is that really the first time he's seen his own reflection?
That is what Tony has
Hasn't he
said.
Looked at a body of water and seen a reflection?
I mean, there's not. I guess actually there was a giant lake right next to their village. So
I feel people always say you only can see a reflection through a mirror. There's other ways you can see a reflection.
It's a trope,
yes,
for sure. One that Star Wars is more than. Star Wars has never shied away from engaging in tropes about indigenous peoples and their lack of access to basic technology, and in this case, saying that Kassa has never looked into a mirror is a little bit much, but it is what they have said is happening.
Well, he's seeing himself with the battle makeup he's put on himself for the first time. So maybe he's seeing himself in that context. That is shocking to him.
And he becomes upset seeing his own reflection, and he starts smashing up the interior of the ship, which is interesting that seeing himself drives him to this rage.
It's the first time we're going to see Cassian destroying, I guess it's technically the Republic, but I guess an oppressive space. Mm-hmm. It's his beginning of his rebellion against sort of the superstructures around him.
Exactly. He feels like his community has been destroyed by this ship, and now he is instead of retreating with the rest of the kids, he has entered into it to destroy it from the inside. Is, I think, the metaphor that's happening.
Yeah, it's a good metaphor. It also has a very nice little editing trick of, as he hits the mirror, it like matches the cut of the opening of the ship back in present day.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of these really great match cuts throughout this episode that help to keep the pace of the show up. And it helps to connect all these kind of disparate scenes that, in... These scenes are straight out of like streaming era TV, where it's like we're getting all this deep backstory that is maybe not advancing the plot, quote unquote, but by using these kind of match cuts and the music, they're able to help weave everything together and make it really feel cohesive.
Yeah, just that shot alone feels more cohesive of the flashbacks to the current moment than most of episode 2. Mm-hmm. Episode 2, they kind of just felt they were squeezed in there. Versus here, there's a very clear like these two things are narratively connected.
Yeah, and then him smashing up the console then match cuts over to Cassian in the Ferrix scrapyards, where we get this giant VFX shot where we get to watch the workers of Ferrix tearing apart a Republic capital ship. And we go from a really quiet, intimate scene to something giant.
Literally dismantling the Republic.
Exactly.
And he was destroying the Republic in that shot, and now we're destroying the Republic again.
Mm-hmm. And we're watching Brasso and his team, dismantling this ship. And this is the kind of like giant VFX shot that I think of when reading the quote where Tony was talking about how making season 1 was kind of like building a battleship, where we get this huge sense of scale that is really unlike anything that we get in season 2, where the belt started getting tightened on Disney Plus shows.
I think there's a fair point to that.
Yeah. Like, this is a shot that feels straight out of a Star Wars movie. Of, like, you have this big horizon, a giant piece of a ship falls down, and then another thing flies down from above. And it really does a great job of showing how dangerous this work is.
The scale reminds me, I'm going to say, I can never remember, because growing up, I always said 80s. But I guess they're supposed to say at-ats, right?
They are at-ats,
okay.
Yeah.
I like saying 80. Well,
I say 80s also.
Okay. But like, I think that is a similar scale of like, we are seeing how tiny the people are compared to these giant ships.
Yeah, exactly. And it takes a whole team to, tear these apart. And Cassian is there watching from the shadows, and he gets Brasso's attention and kind of pulls him over.
In the exact same framing as the previous scene of him walking onto the ship. The same center, big shot down the middle of down a ship.
Yeah, exactly.
Except now it's a canted angle, which means that things have been...
things are bad.
Yes, as you learn in Film 101, canted means things are uneasy or disturbed.
There's a reason why you learn it in Film 101. It does a great job of showing how nervous Cassian is and how desperate he is, but he's really trying to hide that from Brasso. But Brasso picks up on it immediately and gets worried about him. And Cassian then asks Brasso to watch after Marva while he's gone, and leaves without giving Brasso a chance to try and change his mind, but with the promise that he'll find his way back to Ferrix one way or another.
Can we talk about Brasso's hat a little bit?
I would love to talk about Brasso's hat. It's like a big, kind of low poly hard hat.
Yes, they can only devote... they use all of their polys on the previous shot, and they can only have so many. I want to point out, along with being low poly, his hat looks exactly like the top of Gypsy from Mystery Science Theater 3000. Do you think the little thing lights up?
Yeah, it probably is like a lamp that they can activate.
That anecdote's not interesting. I was going to bring an anecdote that's not really that interesting. Okay, back to the show.
But earlier I mentioned that the production designers took influence from the Scottish shipbuilders in the design of Ferrix, and I think these shots of people on top of the capital ship as they're tearing it apart is kind of the inverse of that, where those people were building ships for war, and here they are tearing them down because they're supposedly not in a war anymore.
Yeah, I think this is something that I would love to have somebody talk about, but I think there is an interesting thing that reappears, I think, throughout Andor of when they're sort of showing oppressed people. They are Scotland, they are France, they are Eurocentric countries. Eurocentric countries that have had oppression placed upon them, but they are not necessarily coded as non-white.
Yeah.
And I wonder if the show is leaning on those things for a reason, if it wants to communicate to a white audience that this can happen to you too, or if there's what do you think about that?
I think there is a long history of science fiction where authors and artists are able to turn the genocidal and imperialist visuals of history onto white Western bodies and cloak it in science fiction. So I do think that's there.
Yeah.
And then I think it's also, seen as a more kind of palatable reference to make.
Yeah.
Where a lot of the time in your kind of PR cycle, you're told, let's not bring up the controversial, political issues of the day. And it was
a note Tony Gilroy got on his to-do list and threw out immediately.
Well, I was listening to an interview with him where he talked about how at first they kind of came in with a game plan of let's just not talk about that stuff and kind of just let the story speak for itself. But then as soon as they hit the road, all of the questions they started getting were happening at the exact same time the Trump administration was doing its most evil draconian actions. And they realized everybody is going to ask us about this. We have no choice.
Is this about Elizabeth Warren? My favorite Andor question.
That was so funny.
We'll get to Mon Mothma in how many weeks?
Soon.
Okay.
At the end in the next episode.
Okay.
We'll get to talk about
Space Elizabeth
Warren. But yeah, I think you're absolutely right that using Western European analogs is seen as more palatable. And this is, I think, an example of where the limits of science fiction kind of come into play. That yes, you can use science fiction to touch on these issues of imperialism and colonialism and fascism, but when you are discussing it and the references that you're allowed to make within that metaphor still butt up against real world political biases about who are we allowed to empathize with.
As what people in this industry would call a bummer.
It is a bummer, yes. That is, our scene with Brasso. Do you have...
I'm just rewatching it now. Cassian has a little funny walk as he runs away. It's a little bit of a jaunty walk.
He's hustling.
Yeah.
And Brasso is so concerned there. In just a look, watching Andor walk away, you know that this man would do anything for Cassian.
Brasso's such a sweetie.
But Cassian is keeping everybody at arm's distance, he's pushed B away, he's pushed Marva away, he's pushed Bix away. He's trying to cut himself off from the world while still trying to do right by them. He even says, the money that I'm about to get, I'm going to leave with Marva, and she's going to have the money that I owe you. So he's trying to do right by these people as he's, preparing to leave them behind.
Yeah, we've talked about this before, but I do is the fact that Diego Luna is 20 years older than the character he's playing change the dynamic of, if this was a 20-year-old guy, you could see, everyone responding to him by, this is a 20-year-old kid who's really fucked up, who we saw watch up. We've watched them grow up. Because they are now, Brasso and Andor are probably the same age, there's an extra contextual history of they've known each other longer than that.
Yeah.
That I think maybe is not in the text, but I think it changes the dynamic a little bit. If Brasso was talking to somebody 20 years younger than him, it'd be a different dynamic. The fact that they are both sort of in their 40s at least, there is more of a shared history between them of we've been through shit together.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the other angle that it provides is that everybody talks to Cassian in a way that is everybody says to Cassian, you're too old to be fucking around like this. Like, you should get your shit together already. And I think Diego Luna being a little bit older than Cassian is supposed to be, I think does add to that in the sense that he's not like a pimply-faced kid.
Yeah.
Who you're like, he's just a little kid. Like, of course he's going to get in trouble and be a fuckboy. This is a man who should know better and has avoided knowing better for a variety of different reasons. And over the course of this show, he finally will let that go and be the person that he's supposed to be and grow up into the person that we already kind of see that he's meant to be.
Yeah, no, I'm just imagining the pimply-faced teen from Simpsons as Cassian.
Star Wars Simpsons Andor parody
episode. Again, all owned by Disney.
It'll happen.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
We already had multiple Simpsons Star Wars parody specials, so just a matter of time until, I guess Bart would probably be Cassian. It would be my guess. And then Homer would be Luthen, leading Bart into
you put
some
more
kind
thought
of
into this than they have.
Simpsons, hire me. With that, we do leave Cassian behind and we get to return to Luthen.
Yes. Return to Luthen.
Return of the Luthen.
RETVRN. Return to Luthen. So we have a fun cameo here as we see the little trolley ship landing.
Yeah.
Which it's the hop-on truck from Arrested Development.
I was going to make the same joke.
Okay, good.
The little Stairmaster droid rolls up to the hover bus, which is very cute. It looks like it would be hard to get hop-ons on that one, though.
No, it's very easy to get hop-ons.
But he's not street legal,
yeah.
You know? You can't get that guy on the road. I don't think he can go fast enough.
Is that a droid that has consciousness, or is that just a droid that does a task?
Again, the way droids work is as they function, they start to build up memories, basically.
Okay,
so I'm assuming this droid is getting mind-wiped to not
remember people's feet?
Develop he developed a foot fetish and they had to wipe him. It's like, please step on me, and it made people uncomfortable.
Where all these transactions that OnlyFans come from? Steppy! It's of course it's ST3P E.
Absolutely.
We won't name the robots, but we will name Steppy. Are we joking? Are we still joking that we don't know who Luthen is? I remember we were doing that the other episode. Are we still doing that?
We talked about him a bit.
Okay, so Luthen gets off the ship, says goodbye to... wait, I wrote down his name.
Is his name Willie?
Yes, it's Willie.
I never thought to look up his name. I can't believe I didn't do that.
How'd you know then?
Because you wrote it in the notes.
Oh. Wow, you're like, I never looked it up, and it's just a guess. It's Willie.
Be an insane guess. But again, double consonant name. I really do think that's the key to a Star Wars name. Real name, but made it weird. Willi.
Yes. So yeah, Willie asked Luthen if he's staying at the local I don't know,
hotel
at the Days Inn Ramada.
But this is a location that becomes very important to the show as it goes on. So this is our first kind of seeding it into the script, where he calls it the ultimate Ferrix gouge, and it ends up becoming, the seat of the Empire on Ferrix.
Yeah, it's a one hotel town.
Mm-hmm. Maybe got a monopoly.
Luthen walks down the streets of Ferrix for some real. If you're watching along, if you go to around 4:59, Rusteen, can you pull up get to 4:59 for me?
Yeah.
Okay, there's a fellow in a green jacket.
And he does a little hop.
It's unclear what he's doing. He does a little bunny hop down the step. Don't know why. Just wanted to point him out.
So it's a good little hop.
Yeah. Look, we're going deep on this. I got to find something to talk about, which is the guy doing a little hop. We find Bix at some sort of...
She's at like a bar.
It's like a bar. It's like a coffee shop. It's a calf shop.
A calf shop.
A space bodega, if you will. Mm-hmm. She's looking around. She sees Luthen walking down the street holding, which is not his lightsaber, but just a stick.
A walking stick that
retracts.
Yeah, retracts, and he just kind of holds it like a saber.
I could see why people thought it was a saber, but it would be so dumb if it was a saber.
It would be.
She tells him that there's been a complication, and she missed the window to call him back. She explains the situation with Cassian. Mm-hmm. Luthen asks where Cassian is, and Bix tells him where they'll meet.
Yeah, and when Bix runs up to Luthen, she's really panicked, and Luthen tells her calmly, tell me the story calmly. We can see that he is someone who's very aware of how to be...
He's a misogynist.
Yeah, calm down. You're being emotional.
Yes.
No, he's somebody who's very aware of how to be perceived in public. Like, he's very aware of...
He's looking straight ahead. He's not making eye contact with her.
Exactly. And he's already seen the APB out on Cassian, and he has access to the Imperial records about him, so that he already knows basically everything that Bix is telling him here.
Yeah, and again, covering up for the retcon of Cassian's back. They really got to hammer him. We retconned the side book of Rogue One, and don't worry about it.
But I think that it is a great example of how to use... This is why I love Andor as a piece of Star Wars IP. Where if this was an original story, you wouldn't have to do all that.
Yeah.
But all these little things are adding texture to the story.
It's a happy little accident that allows you to embellish it a little bit more.
And all of this is helping us to show both how capable Luthen is and how much access to information he has. So that we meet this guy, we have no idea who he is yet, but he clearly knows more than any other character that we've seen so far, especially the PreMor security folks who know nothing about Cassian, whereas Luthen knows everything about him, including the fact that I think he even knows that he's from Kenari, or he simply asks, is he from Kenari?
The report says from Kenari. So
he puts it together. The last beat of this scene that I think is important to point out.
That part?
Yeah, exactly. Where Luthen asks, do you trust him? And she very conspicuously does not answer the question.
Oh, she says he'll be there.
Yeah, she just says he'll be there.
I don't trust him, but he will be there.
Yeah.
Yes.
She is saying to him that he will be where he says he is, but I don't trust him further than that.
I trust him as far as I can throw him.
And you can throw him pretty far because he's so little.
He's the same height as us.
I know.
We then go to space with the classic Star Wars out of hyperspace appearance effect. What is there a name for that?
I don't know. It's got this like distortion where it's very small and then floomp shoots into the shot.
What if somebody did that through another ship?
What if
someone did hyperspace through another ship?
Why don't we just do that all the time? We should just do that all the time, and we should give it a name.
That sounds too cool, and we should complain about it being on screen. Star Wars is not cool. Nothing fun should ever happen in Star Wars. Anyway, the PreMor ship pulls in, and 3 little auxiliary ships with PreMor security fly out. Yeah,
these 3 drop ships feel more like a coffin than a high-tech starship.
Yeah, they have the ropes and the wires of a military helicopter coming in.
Yeah.
It's very tactical. It's you would think that they would have something more safety than just people holding onto things shaking around. But I guess that is the Star Wars stuff. That is what makes Star Wars, is that the inside is not perfectly calibrated. It's kind of a ramshackle collection of parts.
Yeah, and it's very World War II. Like, this feels a lot like the opening of Saving Private Ryan, of the nervous troops inside. Some of them are excited, like Mosk, who's got this like kind of grin on his face, while Cyril...
He's a little horned up.
He's turned up for sure. He's rock hard. But Cyril is more tense, and he even looks to Mosk, I think, for like some reassurance. But Mosk just has his eyes ahead on Ferrix.
Yeah, he looks like he's going to throw up.
Yeah. Whereas Mosk is just imagining how good it's going to feel to hit Andor in the head with a baton.
How good it's going to feel to hit 15 people in the head with a baton.
Oh, yeah. He's got his whole game plan mapped out of just how fun this whole excursion is going to be.
He played a round of Twister beforehand. It has this order of like, I'm going to hit somebody in the arm and then somebody in the leg. Like, he's picked out all of his targets on different bodies.
Uh-huh.
So we then cut away. They're on the way back down, and then we are back on Ferrix.
Yeah, we get to see B riding down Rick's road, and that turns into another match cut where we go from... Right? I'm not missing a shot.
No. It's a shot only exists so they could do the match cut.
Yeah, exactly. B rides down Rick's road, and we get another match cut of back to
young,
Kenari.
sexy B2 emo.
Oh, yeah. He's so shiny. He looks like $1,000,000. His eye is so bright. His shiny red coat is so perfectly painted. This is B at his peak.
Marva just got him for Christmas.
This is
sorry, Life Day.
Yeah, for Life Day. This is his Brad Pitt in Thelma and Louise, like the hottest that B has ever looked, I think.
Is that agreed upon?
That's the hottest that Brad Pitt ever looked?
I feel like people like Brad Pitt with a little bit of salt and pepper.
Yeah, everybody has their favorite era of Brad Pitt.
Yeah, and mine is the face he makes in Burn After Reading.
It is a great face. That is a great one.
Also, B2 emo doesn't have his stutter.
No, exactly.
Yes.
This is B at his, fresh off the assembly line. He is at his tip-top shape here. Because we've only seen him as like an old dog, and through this cut, we are communicating both how long B has been around, and also we're now seeing just how far he's kind of come. That he is no longer this, whippersnapper little droid capable of reading off all these different capable of like speaking super quickly and cleanly. And he's leading the pack too, whereas before he can't really go anywhere without potentially running out of charge.
Yeah, he's just kind of dragging along. And then
it's like a fresh iPhone when you can go out all day and not have to charge.
Before they add 3 iOS updates that make the phone impossible to use.
Yeah, that make it so you have to charge your phone 3 times a day.
It's really incredible how much they just fuck with you on those updates. We're like, oh, the phone's fine. And like 5 generations after you get the phone, there was just like a kill switch of battery will no longer work.
It's literally like exactly 2 years after you get the phone, it feels like clockwork.
Yes.
And here we see Marva, who is also looking a little younger.
Yeah, her hair is a little more orange.
Her hair is brighter, before...
In case you missed the fact that she was Irish. They're really serving up to you on a spoon.
And similar to B, we've only really seen her kind of lumbering through the house. Whereas here, she's, up and running and ready to kind of lead the charge into this crash ship for whatever it is that they're looking for.
And we have a new friend.
Yeah, and we get to meet Clem. Clem Andor is, I believe, his name.
Is it Clem short for anything, or is it just Clem?
It is just Clem.
Okay.
It's
not Clementine Andor.
It is not Clementine Andor. He is played by Gary Beadle, and apparently the Topps 2023 Star Wars card mistakenly lists his homeworld as Kenari and Aldhani, even though the databank previously established it as Ferrix. So do better, Topps.
Me.
There's somebody out there who cares about this as much as I do. But yeah, this is our first introduction to Clem, and we see that Clem is kind of the sarcastic realist, whereas Marva is the more giddy, excited one.
Which she will then turn into as she life is increasingly hard on her.
Yeah, exactly. What we get is just her saying, take your mask off, and that is the end of our kind of 7 minutes here right now. So we get to see a little bit more of this ship and get to see a little bit of this trio that is going to come to mean so much to Andor.
Is it established that they were the ones behind sinking the ship, or is that coming later?
No, it's actually never established.
Okay, I was reading some stuff and
it crashed.
People were
why it crashed.
That there's some fan theory that they were the one behind it.
I could see that for sure.
I guess why would they be looking for this at a random place? What are the odds that they would be on Kenari, an abandoned planet, to then find the ship?
That's fair. I think they were chasing after it for sure. Oh, I forgot we actually get the part of this where B reads out that, the vapor density is acceptable, airborne concentration minimal, no detectable gas toxicity. So my understanding was that they were like following this ship, maybe even prepared to steal from it, but they are scavengers. They're not really pirateers,
Corsairs.
Yeah. Wait, is there any explanation? They were on a mission to salvage wrecked technology and equipment from a crashed Republic starship on the planet of Kenari.
Well, that's what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think that they shot it down. That would be a little crazy to me if they did that.
I mean, I'm not against either way. I saw some people describing it as that way, and I was wondering if you had more.
There is a bit of confusion about what exactly is going on here, because in the next episode, they're going to talk about how this is, how the Republic is on their way to investigate this. But we've seen Confederate symbols on the ship's crew's uniforms. So I think at the very least, through B's message that the poison has all kind of gone away, I think that whatever happened here is like the poison kind of exploded and killed the crew, and they're now coming to salvage it.
I have some deep Star Wars lore that I discovered.
Okay.
Which is that, again, I don't care about this. I don't. If it's not in the movies or shows,
you were
so
excited to discover it.
Well, I was trying to do some research about because I was also getting caught up in why are they separatists? Why do they keep saying Republic? So the mining guild aligned itself with the the Separatists.
Yeah,
and they are on a planet in which mining is happening.
Yeah.
So that might be why. I think it's still a Republic ship. They are just separatists.
Exactly.
Using a Republic ship. They are not people who make their own ship now.
Yeah, the kind of interpretation that I read was that this is the period in which the Separatists are getting reintegrated back into the Republic's and/or Empire. And so there's a bit of fluidity about, they're still able to kind of maintain their uniforms as Separatists as they are aboard a Republic ship.
Yeah, I just appreciate that there was some history of like the mining guild and the Separatists having some sort of alignment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Separatists are almost entirely made out of business interests. It's the mining guild, it's the banking guild, it's the trade federation, it's the Geonosis manufacturers. So the Separatists are almost entirely made out of capitalists, is like a big part of why they separate out from the Republic.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's the sci-fi usage of guild, and then there is the legal current version of guild, which is we are a collection of workers who view ourselves too highly to be named a union. So we'll call ourselves a guild.
We're fancy.
Yes, but as opposed to a guild here where it just basically means a conglomerate of owners. Like when I see mining guild, I'm like, ooh, union, but it's not a union.
Yeah, exactly. So the mining guild is called a powerful network of miners that harvested and controlled natural resources throughout the galaxy. Initially a part of the Commerce Guild, it was aligned with the Confederacy of Independent Systems during the Clone Wars before collaborating with the Galactic Empire during its reign. And so what we have here are, these separatists were independent capitalists who got tired of dealing with Republic bureaucracy.
Yeah, I guess I want to call out Wikipedia. Is that what you're reading?
Yeah.
But is that they are not, my guess is they don't represent the miners. They represent the people who own the mines.
That's a great point.
Yes.
That maybe we should edit the Wikipedia to reflect that truth.
It's also a sub-commerce of the Commerce Guild, which I assume is what is the Commerce Guild?
The Commerce Guild was a large-scale interstellar conglomerate active in the galaxy. It included agricorps, retailers, service providers, and the Mining Guild, among other commercial entities, and was a primary competitor of the Corporate Alliance.
Okay, are we going deep on the Corporate Alliance? Because I've got questions.
I have so many questions about the Corporate Alliance as well. It looks like the Corporate Alliance only existed during the final years of the Galactic Republic. It would pledge its resources to the Confederacy of Independent Systems during the secessionist movement. So did the Commerce Guild also had a representative in the Separatist Senate and the quasi-executive Separatist Council, and then when its president was killed by Darth Vader, it reversed course and supported the Galactic Empire.
It's funny. It's a funny thing where you're like, Commerce Guild is kind of a stupid name. You think they would come up with something more interesting, and then meanwhile we are 30 minutes from a city called Commerce.
Yeah.
The city of Commerce, baby, a real thing, and it's just bad writing.
Yeah, we live in a badly written science fiction universe.
Yeah, it's not even City of Commerce. It's just Commerce.
Just Commerce.
People say City of Commerce because it sounds confusing when you say, yeah, I live in Commerce.
well, when California splits off from the rest of America, we're going to be glad to have commerce as a part of our great new nation.
So Los Angeles County, you mean?
Yeah.
Not Los Angeles City.
Yeah, exactly. That
reminds me, I need to go to City of Commerce to get some new sneakers at the Nike Outlet Mall. Why am I talking about this on the time? Just reminding myself I need to do this.
You need to go to the Commerce Guild to get your Nike Dunks.
Can we talk about why don't you talk about City of Commerce for a little bit? We got some
time.
Sure.
What is there to talk about?
The Citadel.
Is that where it is?
Yeah.
I always thought that was in Irvine.
No. I mean, Citadel at the Commerce is some real Star Wars bullshit.
Yeah, absolutely. For those who don't know, for those not in Los Angeles, the Citadel Outlets is a giant shopping center that has these huge kind of brick walls all around it that looks like it's the perfect place to try to live out a zombie apocalypse.
Well, they have the giant Lamassu in front.
Yes.
So do you know, I learned this in AP art history. Do you want to know a fun fact about Lamassu?
Sure.
They have 5 legs.
What?
The Lamassu, it's like the body of a horse, the wings of a bird, and the head of a human. And they have 5 legs. You know why?
No.
So this is very helpful if you're on a podcast. But the idea was they were so huge and that when you were entering the town, you would just see the front of it.
Okay.
And you would see the head and you'd see the two legs standing next to each other in the front. As you would walk into the town, you would then turn to your left and see the creature. But now one of the front legs had moved backward.
Okay.
So the idea is that when you thought the creature had moved.
Oh, a little optical illusion.
It's a little optical illusion that one of the legs has moved back while you've been moving out of a awareness that you've come inside.
That's great. Unfortunately, when I Google Lamassu, I am spelling it as the Kaminoan by the name of Lamassu. So I'm only just looking at pictures of a tall, gray fish guy.
I mean, that's a perfect way to wrap it back around to Star Wars. I learned that in senior year, and it's a fun little thing to bring up every time I go to the Citadel at City of Commerce.
I love that. Oh, I see it now. Now it's actually coming up because it's got an extra S. So that's another way to make a Star Wars name is remove a consonant from...
Oh, how do you spell the Star Wars one?
It's Llama space SU.
Oh, okay.
So it's one less S, see?
Do you think that's where they got the name?
Yeah, absolutely. Lucas would love shit like that. That's the kind of shit that's going to be in the Lucas Museum. They're going to have a Lamassu and it'll have a little blurb about how it's supposed to look like it's moved and stuff.
What if there was a little Lamassu? There should be more Lamassu-esque aliens.
We'll make it happen.
Just a guy's head on a body of a horse.
There is some stuff like that. There is a...
Listener, if you're still hearing this and we did not cut this out...
No, I'm going to cut that out for sure. Yeah, we'll get a Lamassu in there at some point.
Oh, I mean, is our listener hearing to the entire Lamassu talk?
I don't know about that.
We'll see how it sounds in the edit. So I guess should we wrap up the episode?
I think we can wrap up the episode now, but one aspect that I kind of forgot to touch on earlier, that I believe this is the last time that Cassian is actually going to see Brasso before he leaves Ferrix. And in this moment, him and Brasso have such a bond that he doesn't even really need to ask Brasso for help himself. He only is asking for help for Marva.
Yeah.
And so later on in this episode, we're going to see Brasso kind of take matters into his own hand and see, what a good homie he is.
And he doesn't do the cliche look back one last time as he walks away.
Yeah, Cassian just storms off,
yes.
And that's he has his work cut out for him.
So speaking of storming off, should we
wrap it up?
Should we wrap it off?
That is going to be the end of this episode of Andorks. We are done with part 1 of episode 3, Reckoning. How far does that put us?
We are 64 minutes total.
Okay.
9:09 left.
I really wish I had made it so it could have somehow ended on 69 minutes. Would have been great.
Do you want to do a mini episode and then...
just fuck up the whole premise of the podcast for one bit?
Whenever we have... Eventually, we'll have a 100-something 69 minutes left. We will hit that event. At some point, we'll probably hit that.
And we're going to have a party.
Yes.
We're going to have a party when that happens. But until then, thank you for listening. Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe on your podcast of choice. Send us an email at andorkspod@gmail.com if you have any questions or comments, or if there's anything we missed in this episode.
Follow us on your favorite social media platform.
Yeah, follow us.
Unless it's TikTok, in which case we're working on it.
We'll get there maybe eventually.
Although I guess if this purchase of TikTok happens from Fox News, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see if by the time this episode comes out, TikTok is owned by Fox News. In which case, we will love to post all of our political beliefs on that platform. Nothing bad would happen. But until then, we will see you next week for part 2 of Reckoning. See you later.
Bye, everybody.